to get started, I'm going to go through our SurveyMonkey Apply access, but first, of course, shameless plug for our symposium. Hopefully everyone can see that. It is open. Our symposium is February 10th and 11th in Austin. You can go to our website, trc4.org, to register. I will be dropping this PowerPoint slide set into the chat, so you can download it if you want, or you can click on that link that I copied and pasted over to go ahead and register for the symposium. Registration is open until January 31st, so you have plenty of time, but sooner the better. So our 2025 grant program is built in SurveyMonkey Apply. So some of you,
Christina?
if you're already, yes, sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt. You've got it in, I think, presenter. Looks like your
Sorry.
notes. Yeah, maybe there.
Let's switch. Let's see. Okay, how's that?
Perfect.
Sorry about that. So again, registration here. And in SurveyMonkey Apply is where the 2025 grant program is. If you're familiar with SurveyMonkey Apply, especially here at UTESCA, it's very simple. If you're a current awardee, you've already submitted your first progress report. It's in the same system. So if you already have access, especially UTESCA employees and anyone who is a current awardee, it's your same username and login that you've already set up, and UTESCA users, it's just your current username and password at work. If you have not used SurveyMonkey Apply within UT Health San Antonio, anyone non-UTESCA will use the green register button to set up their account, and then they will be able to log in. And the system will automatically assign you as enroll as an applicant. If you happen to see this page, if you use this SurveyMonkey a lot, you may have actual separate roles or different things that you can do. You will select applicant, but most people will usually end up on this page once they log in, and it will have a lot of information there, different eligible programs within UT Health San Antonio. So you can use the search function to find our program, which is called 2025 TRC4 Grant Program. And this particular program will open on January 1st. So if you were to create your account and log in now, you will not be able to find it as a user currently. But it will be available to everyone to submit their LOI starting January 1, 2025. So for example, I searched for just TRC4 and I came up with 2 grant programs. The current one that we have now for our 2024 awardees, and then the 2025 one will be the one that you will look for, and you will select more. And that will take you to this page where you can read the entire grant program overview. It's a little lengthy, but please read it. There's some helpful information in there. Again, who we are, what we're for, deadline dates, your proposal date, and your progress report dates are all listed in this grant program overview, and it will always be there. You can go back and reread it as many times as you like. If you go over to the right, there'll be a green apply button, and that's where you will start. And you can come into this program. We are not limiting our users to 1 or 2 applications. You can submit as many LOIs as you can have time to write. So you will come back here and hit apply. Okay, you'll see that here I've been playing with the system, so I have 3 applications in here. And so once you hit apply, you will start your LOI. Okay, but before we get to that, some of you, if you have more than 1 program or grant LOI application, you will have a dedicated ID number for it. And as you work on them, you can hit the start button. That'll take you straight to your LOI. Or you will have a couple applications. And if you do, As you work on them, you can easily find them when you're in SurveyMonkey Apply. If you just go up and select My Applications, you can mark your application, you can find them all, and then you can complete them all separately. I do want to remind you that as your application is complete, you will need to mark it as complete, but then there will also be a submit button, which I will show you. And these are two separate functions. So marking your application as complete does not necessarily submit it to us, okay? So you'll have to do both buttons. And so for me, because I'm playing with the system and I have a couple different things going on, you can see that I've got a pilot project that I play with. I've got a 2024 grant program that I play with in the 2024 program. And then I've got 3 sitting in the 2025 program. And so they'll have different numbers associated with each one. You can view them. You'll know that they're submitted with this green checkbox, or you know that you have tasks pending when you hit the start button. Do I have any questions about that so far?
So even the link for TRC 2025 is going to come live Jan 1st. Is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
And as you mentioned that one person can apply, can submit more than one application?
You can submit more than one LOI, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the LOI section in SurveyMonkey Apply. And so I'm already logged into my application, and you can see it's application number 5 for me. And 2 important things. This is what you need to do. It's an empty circle. It will turn green as you complete it. And there's a section here for add collaborators. And I highly recommend that if you have anyone who's helping you work on your LOI, or in the future will help you work on your application and or progress reports for those who get awarded, please add your collaborators. You can add them at any time, really sooner the better. So I highly recommend that you add any grants people or other co-PIs who may be working on the project and will help you submit data into here. Add them as collaborators, okay? So here's my task. I have a letter of intent to fill out, so I'm going to click on it. And so it's actually, we kept it very simple. It's all data entry into here. There will be no uploads of Word, PDF, PowerPoint, or images such as graphs, data, things like that. So we'll just start filling it out. I've filled this out several times already, so it remembers all of my information. For the sake of this, if you select a co-PI, it will ask you for their name. Here, I'm going to select no, so it's going to hide it from me. You will be asked to select a funding mechanism. So we have 4 different ones: early career, mentored research, proof of concept, preclinical, and clinical. So select one of the radio buttons. We do ask for a program focus area. So you can select multiple options here. So please pick your best guess. If you're doing a TBI clinical research thing, you can put in a clinical practice techniques, mental health, things like that. If you're in surgery, you're doing surgical support, or you're using a device, you can select both of those if you need to. You can select as many of these boxes as you choose. Then we'll narrow it down a little bit more to a research area of interest. And so these are our current options. So database, registry, AI, observational, other, wound care, mental health, PTSD, blood products, TBI, burn, device wearers, pain management. So we hope we've covered, I think we have so far covered just about all of the different areas of research that we currently have funding for. What your project fits in one of these or none of these, or the other option is always there for you, okay? So I'm just going to pick our TBI function here. Some interesting information we would like to start gathering on our potential awardees is an area of research focus that is particular to you as an investigator. So, and please provide at least three of them. You can add more. So I put an example like hey, the PI is Dr. Smith, and Dr. Smith has a research interest in TBI clinical research and imaging. Co-PI Dr. Jones is interested in imaging database robotics surgery. And this in particular helps us to hopefully match people up if they want to collaborate and work on projects together. So knowing this information about you guys will help us make those matches going forward. And then have you received TRC4 funding previously? So if you're a current awardee, you will select yes. If you've never received TRC4 funding, you'll select no. And we'll move on to the next page. So here is where the rest of your letter of intent goes. Please include the title of your project. It is a limit of 500 characters, including spaces. And then you will post your project summary here. It's a brief description of your project. It's maxing out at 6,000 characters, including spaces. If you were writing that in a Word document, it's about a page and a half. Okay. So if you have it in Word, copy, paste it into here, and then you can save and continue to edit if you want to work on it, or you can mark it as complete. I'm just going to write the word test in here, and I'm going to mark it as complete. And this is for me. If I'm completely done with it and I don't have any more edits to do and I'm ready to submit it, I'm going to mark it as complete. If I still want to work on it, I just will save and continue editing, and then I can log out at that point. It will save all my work, and I can come back in and work on it later, finish it up, and meet the deadline of March the 1st. So I'm going to mark it as complete. And so at that point, it actually submitted it for me all the way. And so I can see everything here, and then I can also download it if I want to and save it as a PDF. And so this is my LOI. Do we have any questions about that for SurveyMonkey? Pretty straightforward, everybody. Thumbs up.
Look good. Thank you.
Okay, so that's pretty much the LOI portion in a nutshell. We are aware this will be brand new for everybody on this second go around of funding. So there will be an LOI review session that will take place, and those LOIs that do get accepted will be invited to go to an application round, and it'll go back into SurveyMonkey, and you will then see that you have actually 4 tasks to do. So I'm going to share that screen right now. And so this is another application I play with. And so you see that previously I've completed my letter of intent, and it has a nice green checkbox, and everything's good to go. And then this is the application round that will come after the LOIs get accepted. And you'll see that there are actually 4 tasks to do. And you can always review and submit it. This will take some time to do, of course. Most of you are pretty familiar with your grant submission process. Again, Add Collaborator function is here. And so most of the work is done in the first 2 sections of actual data entry. And then the third section with the budget justification. I'll show you what that looks like. It's just where you upload your budget. We provide a fillable PDF for you to put back into here, and then all your upload of your required documents, your full proposal, your single PDF biosketch, things like that will all be in one PDF, and it will be uploaded as your 4th task. So in SurveyMonkey Apply, when you go to open your application, SurveyMonkey will assign it a study ID, so that will be there for you. Don't have to worry about that. And the nice thing is anyone who submits an LOI will have all of their information automatically entered into this section for your information. So you don't have to keep retyping your information. We've set it up so that we'll fill it in for you. And so you see that some of the information is missing. Again, if you have a co-PI at this point, you can add them. If not, you can say no. You will have to select your radio buttons. They are required. Is it research exempt? Yes or no. Okay. Are you having human subjects? If you are, but you have not submitted to the IRB, you can select that button. If it's yes, IRB approval's pending, or it's approved. If it's no, you can select no. You'll see it hides the radio buttons for that answer. because if you do have IRB approval pending or approved, you will have to inform us of the IRB protocol number and the IRB approval date. If you don't have those things at this time, those will go away for you. Same thing with the IOCOOK. If you have vertebrate animals, yes or no, is it approved? You will need to provide us a date and a protocol number. If it's not started, you won't have anything to fill out for us. If it's no, it'll hide itself as well. If it's pending, please give us probably a pending approval date, your best guess at that, and then of course your IOCOOK protocol number, okay? And then we'll hit next. Just make one of those. Oh, why aren't we liking this? Okay, so it's not going to let me go to the next task from here. So I'll just click here. So you'll see my green button's about halfway through because I have a little glitch I have to take care of.
May I
before
ask
you
one
guys
question?
Yes, sir.
My question is, that, you indicated when you submit LOI versus the application. So if you have listed collaborators in your LOI, can you add additional collaborators when you submit the final proposal, or they have to be the same?
No, they will all be listed there. So it will always be in the same place. It's the same set of people. So at any time you can go in and edit and amend any collaborators that you want to within that application.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on to task number 2, it's a little bit of additional information and a conflict of interest question. So please disclose any conflict of interest that you have. And if you have none, you can select NA or none. And then we do ask again, have you received past TRC4 funding? But at this point, if you have received funding, you will need to tell us what project title that you were funded for. If not, you will hit no, and then you'll be able to move on. I'm just going to write none because I don't know if I set that up properly. And then do you have any other applications or planned for your any other pending or planned scientifically related applications? Yes or no. If it's a yes, please let us know which one. If not, then I'm just going to enter none just to be safe. And I can mark this as complete. I'm going to save and continue editing. Here is one of the several places you can find the budget template. So the instructions here is please upload your completed budget template as a fillable PDF. You can find it in the beginning of the application process. I kind of skipped that, but I can go back to it. But it's also hyperlinked here for you. It's a fillable budget. You attach your file, mark your section as complete, and then you will be good to go. And then the same thing on the required uploads in the instructions for the application. And I can go back and show you that I missed that. We do have several places within our overview and our instructions to let you download your BioSketch template if you don't already have that, your budget template in that fillable PDF, and information on providing us a grant proposal that follows the NIH R21 checklist, and it's the link to the website from the NIH and the R21 section. We want to mirror sort of what that looks like with the R21 checklist for this grant cycle as well. So there will be more than one place to be able to find this stuff so you can provide it back to us. Once you have all of these things as a single PDF, you will attach your file and you will mark your application as complete. Again, if you are not complete with it, don't hit that button too early. Please make sure that you are done editing and saving everything before you mark it as complete. And then it will ask you to submit over here, and then your whole application will be submitted to us at that time. So here's the full overview of our TRC4 and it starts from the LOI page. Okay, and if you go to your applications, I can get there. If you open up your instructions, it'll ask you to please complete everything. You'll see there's lots of things entered here. Open this. From the grant program, we're just back where we are. I will have to find the application instructions. Should be here. Or not. I will find it for you. I know it's in here. I just saw it yesterday. I don't know why I can't find it right now. But in the overview and these links for the program, you will have access to the same hyperlinks for the budget and the biosketches in the application portal. So that gets us through the LOI and the application submission part 4 SurveyMonkey. Do we have any questions for that?
Yes, I have a question. You mentioned about the order application. So that means the order application regarding to TRC4 or any other application related to?
Pending other applications, Dr. Bynum, do you want to clarify that?
Yeah, I think, Dr. Lee, if I understand your question correctly, your question is about, do you have about the question of pending other applications that are related to this project, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. This is basically just a little bit of extension of the sort of COI. We just want to make sure and sort of track, are there other applications that are related to this? Do you have an NIH grant that's funded that this is kind of a side project of? And the reason for this primarily is UT system wants to keep track of sort of follow-on grants or grants that TRC4 awarded and either added additional arms or additional work. In some ways, to sort of take credit for previous work to some degree as well. So particularly follow-on grants that this came out of. So if you've applied for another grant from previous TRC4 funds, we really want to know about that because it's a metric to report back to the state. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Alexander Tatara?
Oh, yeah, I had a quick question. I'm sorry if this is available on the website, but in terms of the budget, so, we'll submit the project summary before we go on to the next stage and sort of see the budget template. Is there a rough, like, for example, for a preclinical project, I could do, 100 different animal groups, and that would be really exciting. But I don't want to propose that in the project summary, and then, the budget's $25,000. It's totally not realistic. Is there like a sort of range in terms of what budget you can apply for the different categories? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense. Each one of the mechanisms has a maximum total funding. That's all listed in the instructions that Christina showed. I don't know if it was in that document, but it'll definitely be in all of the advertisements and instructions once we complete the program. But basically, for the one you mentioned, the preclinical, it's a $500,000 limit for 2 years, up to 2 years. So just to give you some idea.
Yeah, very helpful.
And so we're not asking for a total budget on the LOIs because we already know kind of what the maximum is. We're really looking for programmatic alignment, et cetera. Okay. Orteza?
Hi there. Thank you for the preview. Do you know what's the deadline for the full proposal if invited?
We do expect and have planned for the full proposals to start April 1st and be submitted by June 16th of 2025.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so I found my instruction page, and Dr. Tatara, I'll show you what in the overview where that information is about the funding mechanisms. So I'm gonna go back to that real quick. So when you're in your application, you have your 4 tasks. If you click on instructions, this again is very helpful information about how to submit your application, what components we're looking for, what the research plan, our page limits, things like this that kind of follows that R21 checklist already. References your animal use, your budget. Again, your PDF is here. Your biosketch template again is here. If you have other information, this link here will take you to the NIHR 21 website for that checklist. So these are then the instructions in the application portal. Okay, and again, it's going to be right here before you start your tasks. Now, the program overview, again, before you go and apply for anything, it will be here. And so funding mechanism 1, early career awards, has the total for what it awards here, proof of concept there, preclinical, and then clinical research awards. So all that information's in the overview for you guys. I just went through a little quickly to save on the time. Okay, we have 3 minutes, everybody. Dr. Finnerty.
Hey, Christina, thank you so much for going through all of this. I might have missed this earlier. Did you address for people who already have a TRC4 grant? I thought in the last information session that you had said something about we might be able to apply for 6 additional months of funding.
We don't have add-on funding time, but Dr. Bynum can give you more information for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so just to clarify a little bit. So because this is Texas state funds, there is no possibility for sort of no cost extensions just due to the sort of color or nature of the money. And what isn't spent from your particular grant or anyone else's or our dollars will go back to the state, which is not what we want to do. In very, very limited cases, and it'll definitely be a case-by-case basis, we could grant an extension of the work, but the funding would not be with it. So it wouldn't be a proper no-cost extension because there would be no funds available. Does that make sense? So I'm not sure where the concept of sort of 6 months additional would be tacked on, but
that made complete sense, but I don't think I conveyed my question correctly. So I wasn't asking about a no cost extension, but I thought it, and again, maybe I misheard. I thought that in one of the prior meetings, we talked about going from 18 months of funding to 24 months of funding. And then
yes, got it.
For doing that for people who already had the 18 months funded.
You got it. Yeah. No, sorry, misunderstood the question. It's a great question, by the way. So this is a great point. So our first round, because it was the first round of the state funds and the way that the money moved and was being set up, ended up being about 18-month period of performance. So this is, again, 2-year state money. It's just the nature of that money. It'll never be the full 24 months just because movement of the monies to kind of where we need it to move it to your schools. But the best we can do is start early like we're doing now. And probably the best we can ever achieve is somewhere more in the 20 to 22 month. And this is why we're starting so early. So this period of performance in the 2025 cycle is likely to be more like 20 to 22 months, so closer to the 2 years. We won't add any additional months to the 2024 cycle, those awardees. We definitely can, and we'll be looking, in fact, for opportunities to continue some of the projects that we funded that are making great progress and are moving to different phases. And all along, this was the plan, right? Because 2-year money is not ideal for a lot of the projects that we're funding. We all recognize that. No, that's a limitation of the money. But we're looking at this more as a sort of phased approach, looking for projects that are collaborative, making great progress, making a difference that we can continue to fund through following programmatic years of funding. So I hope that answers a little bit better, Dr. Finnerty.
That did. Thank you so much, Dr. Bynum. But it brought one more question to mind. So for the projects that are currently going on, then we should submit a new letter of intent in order to ask for new funds for those projects?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's why the questions of, is this previously funded are so important. It's mostly for our tracking. I mean, we have all this information, but this will sort of set those aside to kind of take a different look at them, right? Where's the progress at? What are you proposing different than what, the 2 previous funding cycle was, and kind of where is this going?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Appreciate all the answers.
You're welcome. Carlos Martin.
Hello. Thank you guys for hosting this meeting. quick question. You mentioned at the beginning that the video will be available at your YouTube channel. Is that correct? I just learned from you like 10 days ago from a surgeon at Austin, at UT Austin. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around you guys. I work for industry and we're doing a lot of research. So I just wanted to learn more.
Great.
Is your YouTube channel under TRC4?
It's TRC4.org. It's not a YouTube channel. It's an actual website. It's got a lot of videos in there, but tons of content. Everything you'll ever need from here on out will always be at that website. So it's a great resource. Christina looks like she just posted in the chat, by the way, the PowerPoint. So that should be very useful.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so
And
much.
and any other documents, the recordings and all will be through the website. Is that correct, Christina? And in the
They
link.
can get posted to the website. Our marketing team also turns them into YouTube channel links. So it makes it easy to send back and forth and to share quickly. So that will be available to you guys. This particular session, since it is recorded, will be converted and moved into a YouTube channel link and posted to our website so you can go back and review it as well.
Yeah, and Carlos, you bring up a really great point. Thank you. It made me remember something. So the thing about this particular mechanism, we do have some DoD funds in the works. It's a completely different subject than what we're talking about tonight. But these funds really are sort of for Texas and UT system to collaborate in trauma research. We really want to foster collaboration between industry, DoD. So in your case, it would be best if you're able to find a UT collaborator. If you need some help on that, well, there's a whole website of them right now on this Teams call, but we are also happy to help where we can too in some of that networking if needed.
Awesome. You're located in San Antonio, Dr.
We are physically
Okay.
located in San Antonio, but yeah, we actually work and are paid whatever by the system. So we don't actually work for one university. We are a system initiative that works for all the universities.
All right, cool. I live in San Antonio, just asking in case at some point we meet in person.
Yeah, happy to.
Perfect.
But,
Thank you.
Okay, we're a little bit over time. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. This concludes the 30-minute session today. Please, if you have any questions, after you've thought about this or gone back and, have access to the YouTube video when it posts, please let me know or let Dr. Bynum know. You can contact us through our trc4.org website as well. If you, don't have our contact information, we get back to you pretty quickly. Okay. All right. Awesome. Thanks everyone for joining. Nice to meet you all.
Thanks so much. Have a great night.
Thank you, everyone.